Smoke. OVS. Old Virginia Smoke. Old Virginia.
This podcast is brought to you by the Kansas City Barbecue Store, the official provider of barbecue supplies to listeners of Pitmaster. It's fall, it's football season, and holidays are right around the bend. That doesn't mean that the grilling and smoking stops. From smokers and fuel to rubs and sauces, the Kansas City Barbecue Store has everything and anything you could want. Make the Kansas City Barbecue Store your one-stop shop for all your outdoor cooking needs. As a listener of the Old Virginia Smoke Pitmaster podcast, you can get 10% off of your order this fall by using the code PITPOD, PITPOD, for online orders at www.thekansascitybbqstore.com. So keep on smoking, folks. Welcome to another episode of Pitmaster and Old Virginia Smoke podcast. My name is Luke Darnell, Pitmaster of Old Virginia Smoke, and we are with somebody. He's been pretty hot this fall. If you've watched any awards from any of the majors this year, you've heard this name a lot. So please help me, join me in welcoming my friend Sterling Smith from Luton Booty. What up, dude?
Hey, man. How are you, Luke? How you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm good. You had a hell of a fall.
Man, it's been a great year, actually, man. Like I came out with the, first couple of KCBS comps as Luton Booty as GC, both of them, and then kind of just rolled through that. Had an awesome American Royal. Couple calls at the Jack, man. It's always a great day when your name's called at those majors. So, man, it was just accumulation of everything, and it's been a phenomenal year, man. And I've only done 10 KCBS comps.
That's fantastic, dude. And that's one of the things I think that as people move through their barbecue careers and things that they do, to be able to cook 10 contests, but to be able to turn it on and do well, like, I feel like that's the ultimate goal, right? Like, not having to cook 38 times a year, but still be in the mix.
Absolutely. But I mean, I'm also, live in Arizona. So my comps are few and far between, and I really have to travel. And then I have other work with my line of rubs and sauces. I teach classes with GMG across the country. So, finding that balance between competitions and promoting my product and work-life balance, family is, it's tough, sometimes finding that. But I think good for me in the stage of my career is I'll probably be around the 10 to maybe max 15 comps a year. But,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, and
consistency is key, right?
Consistency is key, but having that balance is also key. I think you're a fantastic example of how to do it the right way in terms of, as somebody who has recently made barbecue their livelihood.
Yeah.
It's finding the niches where you fit and making that work and just tying it all together. And I think you've done a fantastic job with that.
Well, I appreciate it, and I think you're 100% correct in that. It's finding that niche and where you find in, and I really gravitated with Green Mountain Grills is just teaching these backyard pitmaster classes. Getting into the backyard, reaching into these guys who are watching the Food Networks, they're watching the YouTube videos and seeing us, and then seeing us like do these comp things, and it gets them excited. So, to me, it all starts in the backyard, and I love doing those backyard classes, just seeing people's eyes open and bringing that knowledge from what we do, to those cats who are just want to cook a brisket for their neighbor, or for their wife or the kids.
It's the best thing ever.
I just love that.
Yeah, man. I do like 5 or 6 of those a year, and it's just so much fun.
Oh man, it's so rewarding, and to get the messages afterwards that, oh my God, I finally felt that brisket and it was so tender, and that's so rewarding to me. Or to even be out in like a competition, people coming up saying, "I've watched your video, I did this." I mean, that means the world to me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And especially, you're part of Barbecue Champs Academy. It's another great
Oh
resource
yeah,
and a
that's
great
fun.
website out there. Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely, and we got some stuff out in the barbecue league, and actually this weekend event up at Saluting with Smokes, an event with the barbecue league. So get maybe to share that information out with everybody, and I just love that. That's and especially this weekend is working with veterans. Being a vet, it's near and dear to my heart. So I love doing that. And then I've also worked with Firefest, which is a great event where we go to military bases. We put on a mini
Yes,
competition and do a little mini class for them. And I mean, that to me is some of the best, most rewarding work in barbecue right now. That where I'm at in my career, that's what I want to do. Is just spread the knowledge and love.
that's pretty awesome, dude. Yeah, I got to do some stuff with Firefest this past July 4th in
With
DC.
Brad,
Yeah, well,
how cool is that?
I didn't actually get to go to a mini competition. I got to cook 100 pork butts.
Okay. All right, you had the backing groundwork.
I did, but it was fun. It was fun, and it
Yeah,
was just knowing that who it was feeding and where it was going was, pretty amazing. Pretty,
absolutely. That's so rewarding.
pretty amazing. Cool. So let's jump into some questions here.
Sure, absolutely.
From the first time I met you, which I think was at the American Royal, I want to say.
Love the
I
American Royal.
I love the Royal too. I think
Oh
it's
God,
it's the best contest in the world, hands
I want
down.
to do that every weekend. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know if my body could do it every week.
Yeah, true. Maybe like 3 times a year would be awesome.
Three
You're
times a
right.
year
You're
would
right.
be great, but that
You're
would be
right.
the
I think
only.
half of us would be in rehab, half of us would be hospital, most would be jail.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, maybe three.
But you have a great confidence about you, especially when you're around the pit. Where does that confidence come from?
Um, I think it comes from, having a military background. You have to be confident in absolutely everything you're doing. I think it comes from knowledge. I mean, actually getting out and lighting fires and getting dirty, if you will. I've
Yep.
been competing now for 13 years. I've not only done KCBS, I've done IBCA, I've done ABA, I've been in Australia several times competing over there. I've done BCS here. I've competed not only as Luton Booty, I've competed as Steel Booty, YSB Barbecue, Team GMG Australia. I have, like 8 different teams, and I think confidence just comes from doing it over and over, and knowing what you're talking about, researching. I'm almost to 100 in-person barbecue classes. I think I'm sitting at like 98 right now, and
Wow.
you have to have if you're going to get up there in front of X amount of people, you have to know what you're talking about because you'll get called out in a heartbeat. So you have to know it, and you have to know it back and forth, and you have to know it. And confidence comes from being up there. It comes from lighting fires. It comes from being on the biggest stages on earth. And I think at the end of the day, it comes from a lot of my military training and putting that into you to be confident, to be a winner, to have that mindset of going into an event that this is what's going to happen. You're going to execute your plan. You're going to run it, and at the end
Right.
of the day, you're going to be victorious. You got to have that. I think in this stage, in this field of competitors where we're at, it's at such a high level. There's so many guys cooking at like such a high level that
Right.
if we're not, organized, if we're not on that mission, if we're not have that mindset of let's go, like I'm there to compete with the best of the best. You've lost. You're already out of it. So if
Right.
you don't have that, you're done, man. So I think a big part of that going into this is having that mindset of knowing that you're going to execute.
Right. And that's one of the things that I teach in my classes. You always hear people that are like, "Oh, did you see who's coming to the contest? You see who's here?" And I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
"Don't even look at a team list.
Yeah, doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter. Doesn't matter."
You're there.
Right.
You're there, man. Oh yeah, I've heard that. I remember. I remember back in the day all those stories. Oh, this team's here, that team's there. I'm like, bro, it's like if you execute, it really doesn't matter. Your competitors are six tongues on that table. that you're trying to impress. That's it's not your guy next to you. It's not this high multi-million dollar team with this cool trailer. It's those 6 tons on that table that you got
Yep.
to impress. That's your competition right there. So I mean, I love it. Bring the best. You got to compete. You got to compete with the best of the best. That's what makes the Royal, the Jack, the KCBS World Championship, the World Food Championships, which I'm actually going to be headed to.
Oh,
That's
nice.
what makes those events just amazing to me, because you're competing with those people who are on the top of their game. The guys who are doing 30, 40 comps a year, who they can you close their eyes and cook a brisket in their sleep.
Right.
It's robot mode. It's robot mode at that zone. At that time, you just it's muscle memory. You get in the trailer, you put on the radio, put on your favorite song, and the body just does it, right?
Yep. Yep. And I agree with you. I always look forward to the big contests and when there's going to be a lot of people there because let's go. You said it. You
Yes,
said it perfectly.
absolutely.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's
go,
see.
baby. Let's light a fire and drink some bourbon, roll with the punches.
It's pretty funny. This is the second podcast I've recorded today, and they've both been with veterans.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, my
Who's your first
first
one?
Jerry Dyer from JD Smoking Misfits, which is a team from Virginia, and he was in the Marine Corps, and he worked on out of Quantico on the president's helicopters.
Oh man, that was
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
and
Yeah,
he referenced a lot of having to deal with the maintenance of that and making sure everything was right and everything was in the right place. He said that really prepared him a lot for competition barbecue. In turn,
absolutely.
yeah, and you've referenced it several times yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
agree with him a million. I mean, that's what's drilled into our heads in the military is it's it's preparing yourself and fixing a problem right now before it gets out of hand. As opposed to just checking it later before it's out.
right.
Organization of I mean, everything from cleanliness. To me, I'm a clean freak. I mean, I will if a rub's out of place on my table, I might lose it at some point. But I don't know. To me, it's about because that's where it's supposed to be. I put it there because it's supposed to be there. But I think you have to have. I think all of us have to have that kind of almost ADD in a way, to where organization mise en place to the next level. That's the way we have to cook, and that's the way we have to do things to get them right. And especially in the military, if you don't do that, guess what happens? You
Right.
die. People
Yeah.
die, and it's not to that extent in cooking, but as a veteran, we have that in our head that this is our mission. This is what we got to do.
Yeah.
We're going to execute. We're going to make this happen. And I think you see, there's several vets I know in competition barbecue, and
Yeah.
I think it's perfect for them. It's perfect for vets because we have a mindset that's has to be organized, and you have to have a flow, and we have to have end result, and it's a process,
Yeah.
almost like a process, and we're very process oriented.
See, listeners have already gotten their money's worth out of this one. If they're
I
paying
hope so.
attention, if they're paying attention, it's I am the
Yeah,
most disorganized
oh
helter
God,
skelter person in the world, except for
yes,
barbecue.
yeah, and you then you focus all everything into that, right?
It's
Into getting it right.
ridiculous. Like my
But
wife doesn't know what to do with me. She's like, "Can you just do this at home for like 5 minutes?"
I think I'm kind of like that in my life being a vet. It's just everything I do is kind of just, oh God, I'm surprised my wife's been with me for 19 years, but God love her.
You recently had an
Um,
anniversary too. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, absolutely, 19 years. She's been around from the beginning, from barbecue, and from the beginning to walking the stage of the Royal with me. It's been a wild ride.
That's crazy. That's awesome. So enough about how great you are, because
Oh, come on.
here's my favorite question ever. Do you have a favorite failure of yours at a contest where you really screwed something up and learned from it for future contests?
Oh, yes, absolutely. A lot of times. times, man. If I haven't, I wouldn't be at this stage where I am right now.
Right.
Uh, it's happened a billion times, man. I like to try things. KCBS to me, I love it, but it's redundant. It's rinse and repeat. Do the same thing
Hmm.
over and over and over. Hit your marks and do it. I like to get out of the box sometimes. I might throw some wings out there. You know,
Yeah.
I might do maybe some weird ribs, or throw some pulled, some stupid things. But to me, I won't know unless I try. So, and I have, as disciplined as I am, and as like, ultra process and ultra organization, run my timeline and run the program, I do like to play around a lot. And to me, I think I, that's what makes me a better cook, because I want to reach out of these norms and try to throw something in that maybe makes my process more efficient. Maybe I don't want to trim 13 chicken thighs. Maybe I just want to do
Right.
13 wings. You know,
Right.
maybe I just want to do something easy and quick. And so, yeah, I like trying a lot of things and getting outside of the box. Um, but I've failed a billion times, man, trying to get it right. But I've came back and done it again, and tried it a different way. Or no, I think at this point in our careers, and you're there too, with several of us, like, we know when we've messed up.
Yep.
We know when we've turned something in, and we're like, oh God, I'm probably about fourth place right now because that brisket wasn't there. It's happened like 4 or 5 times this year I could count. But
Yeah.
that's me trying something different, or maybe getting outside the box. But I think at the end of the day, if I believe in something, I know it could work, I'm going to continue to try it until I get it right, or just say, maybe that maybe that's not a good idea to throw some weird pork at him.
Right. This is
But
this.
I felt a
Yeah.
billion times, man, over and over and over.
This is
If
my
you
favorite.
haven't,
If you haven't, you're not trying. That's the
oh
way I
God,
see
you're not. If everything's hunky dory and perfect, I mean, come on. Oh yeah, a lot of times. My first
this.
barbecue experience was just a horrendous nightmare, and I had my wife's parents over making it. How do you mess up a pork shoulder? Well, I did. It was just a meteorite. It was just just not good. It was terrible.
Uh, this is my favorite contest of the year because it's the first week of the new season, which
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll never get that, but whatever, it's fine. But I always roll out a bunch of new shit at this contest because I'm like, I need something to work on over the winter, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw some shit up against the wall here and
isn't
see
that
what.
cool to do that every now and then?
I love doing it, and I've actually gotten
Yeah,
my wife to the point where she thinks it's fun to do this too. So
yes.
that takes a lot because she's a timeline freak, and
I
I'm
mean,
like,
how awesome are those award ceremony when you've thrown some weird shit out there, and you're like
yeah,
just waiting to hear your name called, and you're like, oh fuck, are they gonna bite? Are they gonna bite? It's like
it's
you're fishing.
right, but it's like going to your first contest again. It's incredible.
You're so excited. You're like more excited for those award ceremonies when you throw some random shit out there. And you're like, oh man, I
Is
hope
this
that
gonna
bait works.
is this gonna work?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it. Hey, I've come home many times with no fish in that barrel. But you
Well,
gotta try it. To me, you gotta try it. Why not?
and it
Well,
keeps it fresh, keeps it fun.
it does. It keeps it lively.
Absolutely. What's the most surprising thing that's come out of competition barbecue for you?
Oh, the most surprising thing. I mean, honestly, that I'm sitting here 13 late years later from my first comp, and I'm living, breathing barbecue. It's my lifestyle. It's what I do.
Yeah.
After the military, I went to college, went to Arizona State University, got a degree in finance. I was in commercial real estate finance, small business banking, lending here in the Phoenix area, Scottsdale, for many years. 5, 6 years ago, I quit all that to run a barbecue line, to work as an ambassador with Green Mountain Grills, to teach classes, to um, rep a product, and to see where that goes. And I'm working on my 6th year of that right now, and it's just amazing to sit here and see what you can do with a passion, with something that you think you're cooking meat in the backyard, and it turns to something you live and breathe every day, to be
Yeah,
able to look back at that is just phenomenal to me.
that is phenomenal. It's inspiring. What do you
Thank
think?
you.
You teach a lot of classes. You said you're 98.
98 in-person barbecue classes. I have online classes. I don't really count those. I've had hundreds of those, but I don't count those. I want in-person classes are the ones that I'm kind of counting. So yeah,
Right.
two away from that. 100.
98. So what do you think separates a good pitmaster from a great pitmaster?
Oh man, I think it's getting it's knowledge. Yeah, it's wanting to better yourself as a cook, not just a backyard guy who's lighting a fire. You got to step away from that, and you have to actually look at food and the science of it, and
Yep.
how it all comes together, and how proteins interact. The you have to almost like submerge yourself into this barbecue um, just culture. You have to suck it up. You have to read every article. You have to go to classes. You
Yep.
have to, you know, uh, not only that, you have to light fires. You have to get in your backyard. And you got to cook. You got to be able to do it. You can be told and go to a million classes, but you have to get in there and light fires and feel the meat and smell it and touch it and cook on your grill and know that you're just looking at that grill that it's 280 degrees and knowing that the internal temp of the meat is 156 because at this time at this temp, knowing that smoke and that velocity coming out of it, that's where it's going to be. And you go and probe it and it's 156. You're like, that's a great pitmaster right there because you're reading smoke, you're seeing it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not going by a recipe. You're not going by at this time I should probe it, and at this temperature it should be this. Or you got to know it. You got to feel it, touch it, and smell it, and breathe it. That's what makes you great. And you got to be able to do it over and over and over.
Yep.
Consistency.
Got to be repeated.
That's
Yep.
do it over and over and over. I mean, anybody can get a GC. Do it again and again. Now we're
Yep.
talking.
I tell people all the time, if you really want to get better at competition barbecue, cook 4 weeks in a row.
Do it.
And people were like, I can't do that. And I'm like, you can. You can do it. But
Hmm.
you'll learn so much more about yourself, about your grill, about your process, that you'll be surprised how different your food is after 4 weeks.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what's great about doubles. I love doubles.
I love
So to me,
doubles.
it's like, let's go, man. I mean, it was a practice to me, that was a practice for the next day, And like people ask me a lot. I used to, when I was first getting into it, I'd comp practice a lot. Now I don't comp practice a lot. To me, my comp cook is the practice for the next one. But I'm in my back cooking everything all day long to me, you know.
Right.
But yeah, you're 100% correct. Do four in a row. You will know a lot after those four in a row. You will
Right.
like have a whole another mindset.
Right.
And you know what you're gonna say? You're gonna look in your tray and be like, I don't need half this shit.
Right. Same,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You look at that and
I'm,
you're like, I don't need this. I don't need this. And
yeah. You learn efficiencies. You know,
yeah.
I hate to say I'm not lazy, but I say I'm a lazy cook because I don't want to clean anything. I don't want to clean cutting boards. I don't want to clean knives. I want to have a good time. If I could have disposable everything, I would just throw everything away and start fresh. you know, but
They call
you'll
that
start looking at it.
they call that
What's
the
that?
Brad Leininger cook.
Yeah, just throw it all away. Let's go. Let's order new knives. um, but you after the 4 weeks, you're gonna be so efficient. You're gonna know exactly what you need, what you don't need, what you can clean. You know how. Oh, I can get by on two shakers.
Right.
Whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. You know.
Right, right. This podcast is brought to you by BarbecueData.com. BarbecueData.com is your one-stop shop for all of your barbecue competition data. Historical data, calls, wins, placements, everything under one roof. It's a great way not only to track yourself in the standings, but also to track how you improve your scores from year to year. Listeners of this podcast can receive 20% off of a new subscription to BarbecueData.com with the code PITPOD. That's one word, all capital letters, PITPOD, PITPOD. So check your team scores, check on others, and do it all on barbecuedata.com. We've kind of segued perfectly into getting rid of shit and shit in the trailer. What
Oh
is
man.
what's one of the best or most worthwhile investments that you've made in competition barbecue?
Ooh, best or worthwhile investments. Um, Man, I'm trying to think going through this. I think, I think this little trailer I have right now. It's a cool little like 17 footer, all aluminum. It's got everything I need in that little trailer. And in being in Arizona, which I mentioned that before, is if I want to compete, I got to travel. I got to
Right.
go. We all know gas is through the roof. Everything is twice as expensive it was, sometimes 3 times. Having that little trailer, it's got a little camper, it's got a little queen bed too in it. So I can just sleep there, boom, pop up. I got a little shitter shower combo, got a deep sink, I got an air conditioner heater table in there, roll all the grills in, strap them in, strap them out. It's got an awning, everything I need, right? It's all a little one little unit. I think that's a cool little investment.
That's
Um,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, it was a cool little. Every time I go somewhere, somebody's like, "Oh my God, where'd you get that trailer? Let me see that trailer. Was it custom made?" And the guy who had it before me actually was a dirt bike driver, and he was tall. He was like 6'8". He was like Tim height, and so he had this trailer extended like 4 inches higher. So we're tall guys. I'm six
Yeah.
two, and so sometimes you go into trailers and you're all, stuff down in there. So, it's tall. So I feel like I'm not scrunched in there and tight. We're big guys, man. Barbecue guys are bigger guys. So you don't want to feel like you're tight up in there. But it's a really great investment. I'm glad I bought that at the beginning of I think it was during COVID when I picked that up,
Nice.
when everything was kind of dead and everybody's trying to get rid of shit.
Now that's an expensive investment.
Yes.
Do you have purchases of $100 or less that
Oh,
make your barbecue life amazing?
Oh, I got millions. Oh, how about like a Thermopin? I think a Thermopin's an amazing product and I use that not just for the temperature, but to feel the meat.
Yeah.
Fats. I think without a Thermopin, I mean, I could do it with a skewer or something, but a Thermopin's, getting me a little bit more accurate.
Right.
Um, what other little gadgets, man? I'm trying to think of little things.
I love this. This
Uh,
question's my favorite
Oh
question.
man, like this, like disposable cutting boards. I love those things. Like I said, I mentioned earlier how I don't want to wash things. How about
Oh,
these little wire racks? The wire racks that you can finish sauce or chicken on.
yep.
Those disposable ones. Yep, those are
Yep.
amazing. Throw those away in the garbage. I think everything I mentioned is disposable stuff. But yes, I just I don't want to spend time on doing dishes, man. I want to enjoy life, cook and have some drinks with the friends, and, enjoy the comp. And I think you mentioned earlier. You said I was on a roll this year, and I think what happened was at the beginning of this year, I kind of and it happened 2 years ago when I formed the YSB with my buddies. There was a point where I was just kind of like burnt out a little bit, and I just wanted
Yeah.
to get back to having fun. Back to just throw up a pop up tent and have some drinks with the boys, cook some meat, and see what happens. And that was a blast. I love cooking with the guys because it was relaxing, less pressure off you. But I got to have fun doing it, and that was a blast. So I kind of rolled into this year back as Luton Booty, just wanting to have fun. Let's cook. It's not that serious, man.
I
Let's
think
execute the plan, and let's
yeah.
let's 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 have a good time.
I think that you're starting to see in barbecue some more movement towards YSB type things. Like I did it last year, went and cooked with Darren, and we're doing the whole Teddy Camp thing when any of the four of
How
us. It's
how
fun.
fun was that?
It's fun.
It's so fun, man. I love cooking with the boys. We just have a blast. We,
Yeah.
take it so seriously, but you're really in charge of your own thing. So all you got to do is get it right. Execute. You're not in charge of four meats, the whole thing. You got less dishes to do. I love that part, you know? A third of the setup. Let's go, man.
Let's
Love it.
go. It's just a
Yeah.
blast cooking with other people too and bouncing ideas off and seeing what
Yes. And that's
works
what I
and
love too.
yeah,
Yes.
it's incredible.
And just, it's all support, and then we all support, we all love, we all help, we all encourage. we bust each other's balls like we're brothers, but at the end of the day, we're there to help each other and we're there to make sure we all get better.
Absolutely. Let's transition then to people.
Yeah, man.
Who has impacted your life the most in competition barbecue?
Oh man, who's in competition barbecue? I mean, I say back in the day when I really first started, who really took the time to you know talk with me and sit with me was Jay Benedict from Otis and the Bird, um, out
Jay
here in Arizona.
Benedict.
Yes,
Wow.
Otis and the
Okay.
Bird. You know Jay Benedict from Otis and the Bird.
I've heard the name before, but I don't know it.
Yes, he's an old school legend out here in Arizona. One of the first Jambo guys out here. A great cook for the longest time, and he was actually when I wanted to learn more, when I wanted to know the feel and the touch, he was the one who actually uh, said, "Hey, man, let's go to lunch. Let's meet. Let's talk. Ask me questions." And I talked to him and asked him questions, and he really took the time to 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 just give me knowledge, give me this is what they're looking for. That was at the beginning of my career. Jay was really like the guy who took the time to do that. But over like over time, I think Matt Dalton from Left Coast Q.
Oh man,
We used to talk daily. We used to talk daily about
Maddie.
boxes, about flavor profiles, about man life, bourbons, and you name it. And he was like a brother.
Yeah,
That
I'm,
that
with
was
it.
the
I'm taking
that was
a
the
sip
hard
for
one.
Matt. Taking a sip for Matt right now.
Yeah, man. Cheers, cheers, Matty.
Hmm.
But yeah, he was very impactful at the beginning when it comes to knowledge and spreading that. Oh yeah, Jay, uh, he took the time to actually give me that. There's these people
Right.
out there, and
Absolutely.
I love being that guy now.
Chris
Hey
Capel.
man, let me give you some info.
Yeah, Chris Capel from Dizzy Pig. That was my guy.
Yeah,
Who
right.
did that?
He
Who
actually
did
took
that
some
for
time,
me?
right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that cool to have somebody do that?
absolutely. And I had him on probably about a month ago, and we had an amazing conversation. It was
Yeah, still a legend.
it, no, still a legend and still one of my original mentors, and we're still great friends and hang out. And man, just it all comes back. It's just full
Yeah,
circle, and he's just such a great guy. And I'll never. I do have to answer all these questions myself in like 3 episodes, though. So I'm pretty.
yeah. No,
it's
it's
going to
good
be
to hear.
interesting.
I love that. No, I love hearing that. I know, and I love. Well, it's cool on your part. You get to hear all these other people and their sides of it. And, out in my area, who I talk to, and who this guy kind of came up with. So you get to kind of see those guys who were like the true legends in different
Absolutely.
regions.
Absolutely. What was the biggest turning point in your life as a pitmaster?
2014 American Royal. That was a huge turning point in my life. That actually was the why I'm here. That's actually why I'm running my barbecue line to this day. Was that competition? So in 2013, I got my first KCBS GC to be able to qualify for the American Royal. So I go in 2014. It's the last year in Kemper Arena. Down in the West
Yes.
Bottoms. I love that. It was my
That
first
was
year,
my
2014.
that was my first Royal.
That was your first one too?
Yep.
Oh, we're royal buddies.
We're Royal buddies.
We're royal buddies. I didn't know we were royal buddies.
Yep, that was
So
my
yeah.
first one.
Oh, so that one was that was Old World Spices had the that promotion they were running that year. That hey, if you want to
Right.
work on a barbecue rub and you sign this waiver and you did well, you can be invited to this program. So I was like, yeah, I might as well sign that waiver. Boom, send it off. So in the invitational, I took first in chicken with the 180 and seventh in ribs, and they hated my pork and my brisket in the invitational, but I didn't. I had a blast. I wasn't top 25. I didn't care. I just got a fucking first place chicken with the 180 and seventh in
Right.
ribs. I was on cloud nine. My neighbors were from Kansas City. we're come back, we're partying, doing our thing, drinking. I start talking to them a little bit about pork and brisket, and there's, oh, you got to sauce the shit out of it. This is Kansas City. I'm from West Coast. We kind of like a nice little glaze, and they're like, bro, you got to make it just saucy. And tomorrow's the open too, so just sauce it. And I was like, you know what, I got to lose. So I go into the open, do the same thing on pork, on chicken and ribs, and I thought my pork and brisket were just straight sauce. And I said, might as well just sauce the shit out of it. So I get second in pork, 19th ever Brisket Reserve Grand Champion, Kentucky Stone in the Open in 2014. Oh, God. It was like the best fucking and that was my first time going. Old World Spices contacts me after that and says, hey, do you want to be in this American Royal Championship rub line? We'd love to have you as our pork rub in this line. We pick different winners from different events.
That's
said,
cool.
Absolutely.
Man.
Let's sign me up. So I still have that product, the American Royal Championship rub line, pork gluten booty pork rub. It's on shelves these days in grocery stores across the country. Cool thing about that was, Old World Spices initially wanted to change it every year. And then their biggest customer was Walmart. So it was on every Walmart shelves. And then Walmart said, actually, we've already built customers for these four. So, you know what? We're just going to keep them the same. And Old World was like, yeah, sure, let's go. And so they've added a couple to that line. But now I have 6 products with them. I got 3 sauces. I wrote a couple cookbooks, teach classes. I think that competition was pivotal to where I am.
That's incredible, dude. That's awesome.
What's cool is, so 2014 RGC the Open, boom, 3 weeks ago, guess what? Just RGC the Open again. That's kind of crazy.
That's really crazy.
I'll take it.
Absolutely. Do you have, this is my favorite question, and I know that there's got to be some cool shit here. Do you have any habits, rituals, or routines that you have to do during a competition?
Oh, God, bro. I bet my wife could tell you better than I could. I probably do a lot of things I don't even know I do. But there's certain times that a drink has to be made, like about usually an hour before turn-ins. I get a little vodka, a little iced tea, just to, it's about to be turn-in time, a drink just to loosen you up, maybe a little smoke, a little something here, put some music on. I have these playlists. I have certain, some songs I play at certain times. Tool is a big, love to listen to Tool while I do chicken, So there's certain songs at certain times. There's drinks that need to be made at certain times. And we every now and then there's 911 shots. Sometimes there's 922 shots, maybe a 944 shot, maybe a 952 shot.
10 o'clock lucky beer. Don't forget the 10 o'clock lucky beer.
Oh God, we're all degenerates. But my wife and I have gotten into sipping bourbon, so we'll get a nice bottle of bourbon and for turn-ins. And what we'll do is just sit, a little nip, we call them nippers, just a little nip here and there.
Yeah.
Little guy. And throughout the day, sip it and have fun and relax. And I think that's what's been cool this year is kind of relaxing and having fun and not taking it so serious.
That's pretty cool. So you're definitely a music guy while you're cooking.
Oh, I love music. Oh, it's I listen to everything too. And it gets me in. I love when I'm trimming meat, and if I put some Tool on, I'll just go into this. It's almost like I'm watching my body trim the meat, and you go into this whole another realm. At the end of it, you're done. You're like, what the hell happened? Sometimes you got to tell yourself, just put the knife down. You're done. You've trimmed so much off that pork shoulder. There's nothing left. Put the knife down. You're like, all right, different song. Let's go. But it gets me in a different mindset. It gets me in a zone. It gets me focused. So yeah, I love music, and I like everything. I love Buffett. I love Tool. I love, I was born in 75, so I graduated high school in 94. So Snoop Dogg and Dre and all that's my jam, And then I can listen to some Fleetwood Mac.
Fuck, we're the same age too. I graduated in 94 as well.
Bro, that's it, man. We're not only royal buddies, we're birth buddies. Oh man, we're gonna have a drink next time I see you, buddy.
I just got a bottle of Larceny today down here in North Carolina.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, man, you got an event this weekend. That's gonna be awesome.
It is. It's fun. But I'm down here. I'm just doing some seafood R&D because there's lots of great seafood down here. It's lots of
Oh
fun.
God, my favorite seafood.
Yeah, man. So your competition weeks is your planning situation the same? Do you do the same thing every day leading up to a contest?
Yeah, pretty much. It kind of depends on where it is. If it's local, and to me, being in Arizona, like I said, I got to travel. So a lot of my comps, I may have to leave, on Tuesday, on a Wednesday for wherever we're
Right.
going. So that it may be a compressed week, but being able to do that during the work days, because like I said, I own my own product now. So I quit my corporate job. That's what I have to do. I got time to do that. So I'm going to get it
Yeah.
right. I mean, I'm out. I get Snake River Farm briskets. I'm getting the best product out there. I work with Prairie Farms. They, fly pork butts and ribs. So really, I'm just
Yeah.
going up to the grocery store, buying the chicken I need. I always trim my chicken on a certain day because trash comes the next day. If you live in
Yep.
Arizona, there's a thing called the can of death, or the zombie can, and your neighbors will hate you when you roll up after a comp and your trash smells like a zombie been living in it. So you got to trim chicken on the day before trash comes in Arizona. So that's and then back seal it and freeze it. And I got certain days when I trim meat. I got certain days when I put things together, pull the trailer around, get it clean, get it organized. And then cleaning the grills. That's the fun part, right?
Yeah, I
I
hate it.
cook on a couple drums too, so usually after every two cooks, I'm cleaning those guys out.
Every two
GMGs are
cooks?
easy.
Every two
Yeah. What do
cooks.
you do? Yeah, two.
Chicken drum, because Kim now runs it, it has to be cleaned after every cook.
Every single one. Yeah,
Every single one.
really.
She
I
is,
don't.
she's demanding.
Well, she's that chicken. That chicken will get in the soul of that drum and just suck it out. But
Hey, she's done well,
yeah.
so I can't argue with her.
Well, do you? And then you cook on a Jambo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy. That's just
Jambo
grill
just gets
scrub down, and
scraped. I
yeah, that's
just
about it.
scrape it. Yeah.
So I do my drums every two cooks, but I got GMGs, and those are easy. Just vacuum, suck them out, quick and easy. But I
Right
do those
on.
after every single cook. But I'm a clean freak, when I was on the ship in the Navy, everything was we cleaned every single day.
Yeah. It makes sense. Makes sense. So, wow, we already answered that one. You've done a really great job of answering a lot of questions before I ask them.
No, this is my first rodeo. Uh,
No, man, it's let's see. When you first started out, what were some of the best decisions that you made in terms of getting started? I think this is an important question for because we are getting a lot of newer people coming into barbecue, which is great.
yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
anything we can do to help those people out in the beginning is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Um, you know what? Which isn't from kind of not necessarily when I came up because I kind of started before Pitmasters. I started right before Barbecue Pitmasters came on TV. So to me, right when Barbecue Pitmasters came on, we saw an influx of a lot of teams, and we also saw a lot of information coming out. You know, back in 2009 when I started, there was not a lot of information. There wasn't a lot out there. Barbecue Brethren's out there. You can
Yeah.
get some information here and there, but it wasn't like the barbecue classes and YouTube videos and as much information as there is right now. You can be a new team right now and Google. Just go to YouTube and you can probably see comp classes from some of the best teams in the world. You can go to the barbecue league and pay $100 and see you trimming chicken, Luke. You know what I'm saying? You can see Chris Schaefer, who just won the Jack, doing a brisket class. You can
Right.
watch La Pasadita doing his chicken legs. You can see all these guys doing stuff. I'm on there cooking some brisket. I got some lamb stuff on there. You can see these guys for $100, like showing you this information. So that information is out there now. If you really want to get better at this, just invest $100 in the barbecue league. Take a quick class. Just go online to YouTube and just Google everything from competition chicken boxes to American Royal to Jack Daniels. Tuffy Stone just did an awesome, phenomenal video out there from the Jack. There's a lot of, you can see some of these boxes. There's just so much information out there. If you're a
Right.
newer team and you really want to get there and you really want to do it, just research, do some research, spend a little bit of time, and then you got to just do it. Just replicate
It's
it.
amazing, isn't it, dude? Like when we were coming up, like that shit
Nothing.
didn't exist.
You had to hopefully around the fire pit hear some old guy who's been doing it a while slip slip up and say some shit.
Right.
Oh, that's all. That's what you guys are using. Oh shit! All right, that one down. You
But
know.
you also
You
had
had,
to shut the fuck up and listen too.
yes,
Like,
yeah, you had to. You couldn't be some like cocky little fucking dick coming in. You'll get shut down.
right.
But you're right. You had to listen. You had to be. You had to pick it up. And then
Yep.
we also had to cook, man. We had to cook a lot.
Yeah.
Cook
I
so
remember
much.
I remember after I took my first class, which was with Chris Hart from IQ.
Yeah. Legend.
I then spent that entire winter every weekend cooking at least 2 categories.
Burning meat, right? Just burning
Just
it. Just
just
burn,
burning
burn,
it
burn,
and
burn.
figuring out my cookers and man, I think about that like back in the day and I'm like, wow, you were crazy.
Oh, go, bro. When I wanted to get chicken right, because chicken was a motherfucker to me coming up. Sorry, I don't know if it's but
Oh, you're low.
chicken was the worst. Chicken was the worst coming up because nobody would tell you
Yeah.
anything about how to get the skin right. And you're like, oh God. When I really wanted to get chicken right, which I hit like 6 180s one year in chicken. Everybody's like, what the hell did you do? You know what I did? I cooked chicken. I cooked chicken until my family said, stop feeding us chicken, bro. We're done eating chicken. Stop it. If I see another chicken thigh, I will divorce you. But I cooked it so much that I just I have a love-hate relationship with chicken right now. It's one of my favorite meat categories right now. But I have a super love-hate relationship with it because I cook it so much that I don't want to even see another piece of chicken. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
do 100% same thing. Like
oh,
I could not get a chicken call, couldn't get a chicken call, was cooking on backwoods, went and took Donnie Bray's class
mm-hmm.
and like gave him a hug at the end of it and said, thanks, man.
Finally, bro. I mean, bro, like just that information, to
Yeah.
see somebody do, and then to taste it, and then to
To
take a bite
taste it.
yourself and say, "Oh shit!" Right in your head, you're like, "Oh, okay, all right."
You
All
know
right,
what?
see
It's
what's going on
funny
here.
how
I see what sorcery's happening in here.
it's important to taste that food at a class.
Yes, you have to.
It
You don't have to
is,
know what they're putting out.
yeah. I remember the first time I took the drum class and I had one of Tim's ribs. And I went back
Change
up
your life.
and I had another one of Tim's ribs.
Yeah,
And then there were 5 left, and I walked back to Terry, and I said, I had a napkin. I was like, "Can I have another rib?" And she goes, "You've already had 2." I was like, "I know. I'm putting this one in my pocket." I put that rib in my pocket for 3 hours and took it back to the hotel to give to
ate
my
it
wife.
later.
To give to my wife. And be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You got to try this. And she goes, "How long has that rib been in your pocket?" And I'm like,
Are you giving me a pocket rib?
"A pocket rib, 3 hours." And she ate it. She went, "Jesus." And I went, "Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
the best damn pocket rib you've ever had.
that's what I'm talking about. It's a pocket
Yeah,
rib."
because it's like like you tasted one and you're like, okay, this is how it's done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did Tim and Brad's class. Mike Johnson and I did it. Man, did we do it 2 years ago? Possibly.
Mike
But it's
Johnson.
a great class. It was. You're right. Once you taste something, I tasted that chicken off that drum. That the way
Yeah.
Brad did it at one time, and I was like, okay. And I like my way, but I got to taste this, and like, and this is what I tell people who take my classes. I'm like, don't try to do what I'm doing. Don't do that. Take a process, a technique, a way, a little a nugget of information, and incorporate that into what you're doing. If you try to do it exactly like I'm doing, you're not going to get it right. It's you got to find
See,
your way of doing something
right.
and take that information and incorporate it into what you're doing, because my way is my way, you know,
Right.
and you're never going to be able to do it that way because there's so much going on in my head that I don't even know what to tell you.
Now let me
You know?
ask you this question. Because when I take a class, I'll go home and try and recreate that very first thing I do. Like if I
Mhm.
came and took your class, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna buy everything
Do the
that I
same
need,
thing.
and I'm gonna try and cook your chicken and try and replicate what you did. And in that process, I'm going to figure out what I want to take from your process and incorporate into my gig.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I get it.
but I 100% try and replicate it every
Do the
time.
same thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
I'd
fuck,
say.
I'm gonna put Sundrop in this fucking. It doesn't
Yes,
make any
gotta
sense
love
to
you,
me, but
brother.
I'm gonna put it in the rib wrap.
Just throw it in there. Why not? Let's throw some fajita season in there. Let's not. Let's go.
Right.
Oh God. No, I get it. I
Dude,
absolutely
this
get
has
it.
been. I feel like we could talk for like 3 more hours.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Well, ask me another question. Let's go. Thank you,
I've got
man.
five. I've got four of the rapid fire questions to ask you.
Oh, let's go. So it's like
You
a quick
ready for
response.
these? You ready for
Let's.
these?
Yeah, man. I'm more than ready.
What do you see about barbecue on social media that upsets or bothers you?
Uh, honestly, honestly, not a lot. I have a thumb, and if something I don't agree with, guess what I do? I either dislike, I keep scrolling, or I move on. There's not a lot of things that bother me because I'm in control of what bothers me. And if there's something I don't like, guess what? I have the power to make it go bye bye. So I mean, I'm in control of my own destiny on social media. You know what I'm saying?
I 100% like man.
You let it go. Just move on. I don't, hey, a guy wants to squeeze his brisket and the fat goes out. Guy ain't eating. I'm not eating it. I don't really give a fuck. Squeeze it, man.
Right.
Right? People will rip that guy apart. Like who? You're not eating it. Who cares?
Who
Right?
cares? Right.
Like scroll on, man. People just rip things apart. That's just like the worst when you can just keep scrolling, unlike it, unfollow, bro.
The hide button is your friend.
Yeah, do that. Stop
The
crying.
unfollow, yeah, the unfollow
Yes.
button.
So I guess the whining would be my thing, but I'm in control of
Right on. Do you have a favorite pre, during, or post competition meal?
that. Mexican food,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love Mexican food, man. We live in Arizona, man, Scottsdale. We got some of the
Right.
best Mexican food right here in Phoenix. So it's funny. I'll be away from like a class for 3 days, and I'll come back, and I'm like, Molly's picking me up at the airport. They want to go to lunch. I'm like, let's go eat Mexican food. I don't. It's just if I'm away from Mexican food for like 3 days, I start to get like, the shakes. So, oh yeah,
Right.
I love Mexican food, bro. It's my jam.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite present that you like to give to people?
Uh, I have. I'm gonna. I say something that it's something I do for my daughter every year, and I've done this since she was a baby. Is I give her flowers every birthday, so she'll
Oh,
wake up and I'll have some flowers for her in a little card. And she's 13 now, but I've been doing it. She knows every morning she's gonna get some flowers from dad. But I think that's one of my favorite things that I do over and
that's
over is
fantastic,
have a
man.
little tradition I do for my daughter, which is that's my favorite thing, seeing her get some flowers on her birthday.
That's incredible.
And
All right, last question. No, I'm going to ask you the last question. This is the next to
sure.
last question. If you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, getting a message out to millions, what would it say?
Oh man, I would say help our vets, man. Save our vets. There's so many vets out there who are overlooked, who come back, who have PTSD, who are getting the care they need when other people are. We need to focus on people who have done something for this country. Somebody who's fought, somebody who's sacrificed.
Yep.
Not people who are takers. So people who are givers. So it'd
Right.
be look out for those who have looked out for us.
That's awesome, man. Now, I don't ask this question of everybody because I'm
Secret
afraid
question.
it is a secret question, and I'm afraid of some of the answers that I would get. Like, God,
Okay,
I really want to know.
okay. I'm excited now.
What is an unusual habit or an absurd thing that you love?
Oh, an unusual habit or absurd thing. You know what? which yeah, and my wife will tell you this too. So I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't, but I get into these like crocodile shows or these Aussie like gold hunter. You know what I'm talking about? These like
Yeah.
outback and they're in outback and these dudes are chasing crocs. I just love those shows. Those are like my favorite thing in the world. I will watch this Australian dude hunt a croc over and over, or like these dudes dig up gold. And my wife's like, "Why do you watch these shows? It's the same show over and over." I was like, "I don't know. It's just so exciting. It's so exciting to me. If I wasn't a barbecuer, I like hunting crocs in the outback or some shit like that, or gold, like digging gold in the Yukon." Like one of these shows. That's I guess like watching these stupid shows, and I get it. They're stupid. The Storage Wars. I love it. I'm like, oh, she's like, they're set up. I'm like, I know they are, but stop. I know, but let me watch it. It's like wrestling.
Right.
So watching these dumb shows that mean nothing, but I just do it. That's like really only the TV I watch. I watch sports here and there, but my weekends are barbecuing, man. You know, I don't have a lot
Absolutely.
of time to. And when I'm home, I want to, try to do other things. But
That's
yeah,
a great
watching
answer, though,
stupid
dude. That's awesome.
crocodile hot up outback. Oh man, that's insane. It's the best.
Oh, man. All right, cool. Hey, listen, thank you so much for your time. Where can people find you and your stuff?
Yeah, man. Anytime, Luke. Thanks for having me, buddy. I appreciate you reaching out. It's been an amazing
Absolutely.
time. You can find me with my website. It's lootandbootybbq.com. On Instagram at Loot and Booty and Facebook Loot and Booty Barbecue. I have my seasonings, my sauces. I got books for sale, all kind of merch, all kind of fun stuff. And this weekend I'll be in Chicago for a saluting with smoke event where I'll be coaching some military teams, and then I'll be at World Food Championships after that, and then wrapping the year up, chilling. Hopefully on a beach somewhere, maybe.
Right on. Don't forget Barbecue Champs Academy, too.
Absolutely. BBQchamps.com. You can see all 4 of my classes. Take chicken ribs, pork, brisket. I've got some lamb stuff on there, all kind of classes.
Nice, dude. Nice. Well, thanks again for being on here, man, and congrats on a fantastic year, fantastic few years, and can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks, buddy, man. I'm excited. Hey, good luck to you this weekend, man. Hope you do well, and good luck at
We'll
KCBS
see.
World Championships.
Experimental cook, buddy. Experimental
Yeah,
cook.
bro. Throw some chicken backs out there. See what
All
happens.
right, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you for listening to Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. Be sure to subscribe and like the podcast, rate the podcast, and to share it out with all your friends. Also, be sure to check out the Old Virginia Smoke YouTube channel as well. Tune in next week for another great episode of Pitmaster. For companies interested in advertising, please contact Old Virginia Smoke directly via www.oldvirginiasmoke.com. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is edited by Chris Sedenka. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is a property of Old Virginia Smoke, LLC. All rights reserved. Copyright 2022.
Old Virginia, Old Virginia.